Hello and welcome to the world of Westeros. Are you guys ready for season 3, episode 2? I can't believe we got season 3 already with episode 1's in the books. I mean, Battle of the Gullet. What do you think about it? What did you think? Was it what you expected? Is there any disappointment? Overall, I think this, let me start off with, I think this is 8 out of 10 episode. I think it could have been a little bit better. Um, as I think we could have spent a little bit more time at the gullet. If they would have just kept a little bit more to the book material, unlike what they changed of it. Obviously, the first thing was that there was um, it was a surprise, right? It was a surprise to the sea snakes of being attacked by the trios and the Lannisters. So that was a big change from it. I kind of would have expected like had it been like when the Greyjoys were attacked by their uncle unexpectedly. Would have been nice, but no. Now we have. I believe we have four. Let me get into this. I think we've had four battles in the water. Blackwater Bay, maybe five. I think. Um, what was the other one? Uh, when the Greyjoys got when the Greyjoys got the Ironborn got surprised by their uncle. That's the second one, I believe. I don't want to really consider um, when Danny um, burned those ships in um, Slayer's Bay. Remember when she came back and she pretty much put the stakes on that island there. Um, but it is a water battle, and we see what dragons are able to do against. Another one that we might consider is when she goes ahead and just annihilates the in King's Landing. Would be another one. I don't really want to see that as one. I'm not sure. I don't think I want to consider that as a naval fight or naval attack um, per se. But we can. I mean, there's ships, and that's the first time we see the scorpions being on ships, and here in House of the Dragons, they call them grappin. I think it's a better idea of what they had before, where it was just throwing an arrow over to them instead of um, with the grappling, they had an anchor to slow down the dragons from flying higher and higher. Um, so that was pretty. That was something that was new to they didn't call they didn't call him scorpion, they called him grappin. I think is what she said. Lohan said to bring over to her. And it was I believe it was quicker to load up than the scorpions. So why didn't um why didn't I get that before? But I guess they went with the Dornish, where the Dornish was the one that brought in the Scorpion into play when they killed one of the two sisters that was with Aegon the Conqueror. So yeah, yeah, pretty good. We consider it. Um, Now, the biggest thing of this here is obviously the biggest is that Rhaenyra loses her son in this battle. Obviously, now who is going to be the one that's going to take all the blame for it? Um, she can't blame him, right? So is that the part where we're going to see Bela eventually take the hit for this one, take the maltreatment that she probably has, all the anger, she's gonna have it on her. Who knows? This could be that right there. Another thing we have to think about is um, what of that Kingsguard, right? That actually um, accepted her his Jace's orders, right? And to unlock her, and she tells him, "Hey, let me go," and he still keeps her locked up. What's gonna happen to him? In this, or is it just gonna be like, "Hey, it's not gonna be looked at"? I mean, what would you do in that situation? Um, I mean, that's kind of very, very sucky for you because you have to think about what happened there. What's the consequences as a Kingsguard? You're obeying disobeying the queen, and you're not really protecting her. I mean, she's in the middle of a battle of battles, right? And trying her to take the kingdom that's rightfully hers if you're Team Black, like I am. But what do you do with him? Right. So again, Jace is killed, and it's pretty much. I guess she's gonna get peace from it because I mean the trailers we see that they're carrying a body back at Dragonstone. um, she's probably gonna have a right burial. That's one of those soldiers. Um, that's one of those strong, obviously sons. So the two sons from the Strongs are gone. Um, it's pretty bad for her. I can't believe. But another one that's taken a lot of L's in this whole thing, riding with the Targaryens is Corley, right? Corley is betting big. He's there with Rhaenyra. He's so far lost his two kids. Um, although one, and when in the books he loses his son, and obviously in the show they make him disappear, Gato Essos, and that's about it, right? But he's lost two of his kids, um, thanks to the Targaryens. So Corley keeps losing. Now he lost his home, Driftwood. All his treasures, everything he's done, is gone from there. So, well, how much more losing can you take, right? Um, his son obviously is feeling the his bastard son is helping him out, and hopefully he'll get peace with him and that. But yeah, I mean, Corley's another one that's taking a lot of L's on it. Um, my we saw Damon. Obviously, we saw Damon in that a cameo, what I consider, right? 15 seconds, 20 seconds, just him saying, "Hey, look, everybody got to burn, and I don't care." We didn't capture the Lannisters. Um, what's gonna go now? How's he gonna consider to go from there? Um, right. But the biggest thing, obviously, was the biggest cameo from there was the um, Rodney of the ruin, right? Right, and the wolves and the winter wolves. Oh man, it would have been so cool if we could have seen them in action, right? See what the northern guys were all about, how they got the Lannisters. Right, that part, where he goes, I think those are the best quotes on this episode. Those two episodes, where, um, you know, uh, we're here for the Dragon Queen, and we're here to die for her, right? And and Damon goes ahead and says, "Hey, there's a lot of more hunting. These lions we're gonna do, right? We're gonna go. I mean, I'm just not saying it word by word, but he's pretty much saying there's a lot of hunting going that's gonna happen, and there's a lot of lions out there that we're gonna go after. So I think those are two quotes are the best quotes of this episode. Um, that really sticks to me. Obviously, the Roddy of the Ruin episode. quotes were in the books. Um, so Kristen Cole, man. I think I like I've told you, or maybe I haven't expressed it. I don't like this guy character too much. I think he's a douchebag, right? He's just giving up. Like, he just doesn't care about anything. No loyalty, no laws, no nothing. He's just like, hey, man, we're gonna, as much as the Winter Wolves and Ronnie of the Ruin is looking for death. Kristen Cole feels the same thing too. We're coming to our death here. This is not something that we're gonna go back to and maybe look at. Um, well, Eamon obviously is still traumatized. He's still in the Red Keep and in the Red Keep and King's Landing and looking at obviously feeling as powerful as he is. He's taking advantage of that power. I wonder that kiss with his mother was just like a power move where he wants to see and look at, um, see what's gonna happen. Obviously, now that he's king, he can do whatever he wants. He's assuming or he's looking at. So who's gonna stop him, right? Um, Aegon's not there. Nobody, know who's gonna stop him from doing what he wants. Another one we might have to consider and look at is Allison, right? Like how she's playing those cards, how she's looking at those. Uh, that how her plan just blew up in her face, right? Like Aegon was supposed to be there. He's supposed to be the son that sacrificed, to get killed, to stop all this dance that's going on. But no, it's not happening, right? What's happening is there's gonna be a war, there's gonna be battles, there's gonna be death, there's gonna be more kids being more other children being killed after the effect of this. I mean, we saw this in Game of Thrones. How even if you know what was it, the Lannisters, uh, Tolman, right? How Tolman was just he didn't have nothing to do, right? He eventually killed himself, threw himself out the window. Um, you know, what's gonna happen? I mean, what's gonna happen with these with other kids that are high in power and you know you know let's move into Otto Hightower, right? Where is he at? And we still haven't seen him, but we see the commander of the Hightower, right? And up there, great army he has. um telling, but I mean, he's coming back as a douchebag to me, like, sniffing that. Like, what is he sniffing? Is he sniffing? Because not only do we see him sniffing in in the battlefield, an open field. Like, I mean, is that rider really as bad smell as he is, or is there something with that sniffing that he's doing? I mean, because we see him later on in the closed room, sniffing something. So, um, what's up with that? Like, is that the trait? We saw another dragon that we've heard so much about, of Alison's son. I'm not gonna mention his name because we haven't heard anything. He hasn't been introduced. I hope they do an introduction of him. We think it's the squire or the one behind the high tower there. Um, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know how he's gonna be part of, how good of a dragon rider he is, because obviously, the other ones that they have are bad Jays and Bela and Reina. They're like they're not that good dragon riders, right? I mean, this like how it kind of means hard to believe that you can control a dragon just by putting some stakes on the floor, on the ground, and just tell them to stay there, right? Like, hello, that dragon has fire, right? You're gonna tell me he can't burn those steaks and fly away, right? He can't bite into them and move them out. Is he that much um, trained than the other dragons that are on the other side, right? Is this gonna be where now you're gonna start have to considering, trained dragons against untrained dragons against, the dragon like sheep stealer that just burns everything, right? And just going out there and burning everything in view and not listening to the dragon rider, right? Or maybe the emotions of the dragon rider. um is that dragon rider on the green, is he going to be more calmer? Obviously we didn't see Amon's Vagar being a trained dragon. A dragon is a beast. It's an animal. It's gonna do what it wants to do now, tomorrow, and forever. I don't think you can ever train a dragon, and we see that in the gullet. Correct. The dragon's sheep stealer's just burning everything in sight. He's the dragon is burning. Doesn't care about it. Doesn't worry if it's green or black or if it's a sea snake's bow or a tri bow. It doesn't matter. It just burns anything in sight. Right. Okay. So let's go on with who else was in this here? Man, that Maester, man, poor guy. I mean, how's that guy's gonna be loyal to Amon, right? Like, his head's being butchered, and I mean, in the books it said that they they don't get to elect, you know, who they serve, right? So they don't get to say, hey, I want to go serve the Lannister. Hey, I want to go serve the Starks. Hey, I want to go. No, they don't get to elect that. That's elected over in Essos, right, in the Citadel, I believe, right, where Sam was, and they were trained, and they had to learn all the masteries that they knew, and they get their chains by what they learned, what they mastered, and this guy's here getting is gonna about to get his head chopped, for not knowing what the hell's going on, right? Um, so uh, another one that we finally see of how he's struggling with all that he's struggling with is Aemon, right? Being stubborn, right? He didn't want to be king, right? In season one, when they told him, "Hey, you have to be king," he's like, "I don't want to be king," and look, there he is being king, right? It's not rather get the sword than getting on one knee and bowing to Rhaenyra, right? So crazy stuff going on. Let's see what's going on in episode 2. Like, I really can't wait. If you like this, if you like these videos that I'm making, please give a thumbs up and put a comment. Something maybe I can clear up for you or not. I thank you for your time. I'll see you next time.